So, where do we actually begin with this? I really have no idea. Negan Lives is finally out. I'm super hyped for this. I've been waiting for this for like the last, I guess, week or so. They only announced it like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, a week or 2 weeks ago or something. And I've just been hyped ever since because, as you know, the Walking Dead comic ended like, I think it's been about a year now. It's been a long time. I really miss the Walking Dead comics. I'm so sad that it's over. And certain parts of it, I am okay with it being over. But I think reading this issue, which is Negan Lives, I think this makes me want more of Negan because there really is so much potential there. The character throughout the entire series was very, I mean, we never really explored the character that much. To me, I think, and I've seen people like mention this before too on like someone commented on my Instagram and some people are commenting on just on YouTube videos in general. But to me, Negan is the Joker of the Walking Dead universe. And I think the stuff that they're doing with the Joker now and everything, I think is amazing. Just the stuff that they've done with him over the years. And I think Negan is a character where they can do that if they want to. They can explore a lot of stuff with him. And I would, after reading this issue, I would be totally down and cool if they went and did this entire series with him, 100 issue series with Negan. I think that would be really amazing. I think they could really flesh out this character, do a lot more with this character. And I say at this point, just kind of leave the old characters alone. You don't have to really bring or touch on any of the other Walking Dead characters that are still around after the time jump and stuff like that. Maybe you can kind of introduce them here and there and have cameos, but I don't think you need to. I think because it's been so long since the issue was done, and because for the longest time, I just anyways assumed that we're just done with these characters, I think I am overall okay with them doing that with Negan. And yeah, I really hope we get more of this, and I'm going to give my thoughts on this issue. So obviously, this will contain spoilers for the entire issue. Also, I bought 2 issues. I'm kind of thinking of doing a giveaway. I'm not exactly sure because I kind of like to keep 2. Maybe if I can go out and get a 3rd one, maybe I'll do a giveaway. I'll just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll just send it to someone or something like that. But if I do decide to do that, I probably will on Instagram. I'm just kind of thinking about it right now. This issue, from what it seems like, you can only get at comic book stores. You can't actually buy it online anywhere, which is, I think, a good thing because of everything going on in the world right now. Obviously, this is, I guess, Robert Kirkman's way or Skybound's way in supporting local comic book shops and stuff. Honestly, I wish I would have bought a couple more of them, but, obviously I don't want to hog all the issues and stuff. I want other people to be able to read it. So I have a feeling this is going to sell a lot. Obviously, it's The Walking Dead, and this is the first issue back. It's called Negan Lives, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be hyped for it. So I'm going to get into my review. Also, I guess one more thing. My Q&A video, I will be posting today at some point. It'll be out today or tomorrow. I'm doing 2 of them, so stay tuned for that. For all future Q&As, I think I'm just going to ask you guys questions on Instagram. And so if you want to be a part of future Q&As and stuff like that, or at least have a chance to, because obviously I can't choose every question, just go follow me on Instagram. That's just at MusicMan on Terror Street. The link for that should be down below. But just to get into my initial reaction and thoughts, I absolutely loved this issue. This issue to me was fun. And it's been a while since I've read a comic. I still have to read all of my Doomsday Clock because I think I'm halfway through it or something like that. There's only 12 issues. I'm pretty sure the entire series is done now. And so, yeah, I have to go do that. But I haven't really been reading any comics for a very long time. I've been kind of, I don't know, there's nothing really out there that, for me to read. So this was really refreshing, and it was just a really great issue overall. I would actually say that I enjoyed this issue. Or I would say this is probably my favorite Walking Dead issue over the past like 20 issues or so. I really like the finale, the last Walking Dead comic. Or the last Walking Dead issue, but I wasn't, I guess you could say, the biggest fan of everything that led up to it. Even Rick's final issue. I think it was all right. I was just kind of upset with certain things about it, but it was all right. I prefer this though, and I think it's because of the character and because of the hope for the future and the stuff that happened in it. And again, not a lot happens in this issue, but also a lot does happen in the issue, which is kind of weird. This is just such a fun issue. It's titled Negan Lives. And I love the way it opens up. It opens up with Negan basically saying, like, did you think I wouldn't come back? I'll probably keep coming back until every one of you guys are gone. And yeah, I don't expect you to take that as good news, but it is what it is kind of thing. I thought that was the perfect way to jump into this issue, to reintroduce Negan, because he's a character that everyone was wondering about for years. His last issue, for those that just forgot, was issue 174. The last Walking Dead issue was 193. So that was what? That's 19 issues. So that's 19 months on average of really no mention of Negan at all. We didn't see him for like a year and a half, and everyone was wondering what was going to happen to him. Like, how was he going to get reintroduced into the story? We were all waiting, and that was really it. There was nothing. Even in the final issue, you see the house that he was in, and you see certain things with Carl and that, but there was no confirmation that he was there. Besides at the end, and we'll talk about that soon, but at the end of the Walking Dead issue, at the end of the letter hacks, Robert Kirkman does mention something, but I'll talk about that in a second. Now, I guess I should say I love the cover. I really do. I talked about this a little bit already in my other reaction video to the fact that this was coming out, but I love that you see Lucille here in the G. It just looks super cool. Just the grayish color, Negan's smile, like the blood splatter and stuff, and then the background. It's just a really nice, beautiful issue. I love the red. Negan lives. For some reason, to me, it reminds me of Jason Lives, like, you know, Friday the 13th, but maybe that was on purpose. I don't know, but still super cool. But the story here begins with Negan, and we see him, I guess, at Lucille's grave. Actually, I guess I should say this will contain spoilers, just another reminder for the entire issue. And he's talking about how ridiculous it is that he is still here. And he's mentioned a couple things in here that I just really like. And I like the fact that The Walking Dead explores life and death like this. And they really do it so honestly. Negan says that he hates that he can't just like hang himself or something, you know, like kill himself. He hates the fact that he's too weak to do that. It's almost in a way like he's admitting that he prefers this world, this zombie world, prefers to be alone like this over death, which just sucks for him. Like he's alone. He is so alone. He has nothing to do. He has no life. He's stranded walking around. And that's always been the story with Negan. Even on the show right now, he's really nothing. He has no one. There's no one around him that really truly cares for him. On the show, it's a little different because he does have Judith. So there's something there. I think that's the difference between Judith and Carl. Carl does care for Negan, but there's a difference there because Carl also doesn't like Negan for certain reasons. Obviously, Glenn's death and stuff like that in the comic. But on the show, Judith wasn't really around for that and can kind of see who he is. So I think she's a little more forgiving of Negan. So I think the show's going to handle it a little differently. There still will be elements of him being alone. I mean, like we learned in, I think it was the episode, or it was Rick's final episode, Negan just couldn't kill himself. He couldn't even do it himself. He wanted Maggie to so bad, but Maggie didn't want to. And he was just so upset by it. Like, he just wants to die. And they mentioned that a couple times in the issue here, which I thought was cool. Like, this group here shows up, and I'll talk about that a little more in detail here. But after this whole argument or confrontation goes down, a bunch of walkers come up and I guess kill that group, and then Negan's getting so mad at them. He's like, why didn't you just kill me? Like, why does everyone pause to kill me? Which I just find awesome because it's true. Like, I think for certain characters like that, obviously they do kind of have, I don't want to say really in the Walking Dead comic universe, they don't really have plot armor because they kind of don't. Like Robert Kirkman, he will kill them off. You know, like he's proven that so much that no character has it. On the show, certain characters do have plot armor, but not in the Walking Dead comic. It's anyone can die. And even if, I'll get into the letter hack section soon, but he even talks about that with Negan. Negan was supposed to die in issue 174, but obviously he didn't. So I just thought this was a really great issue. And the general story was Negan coming to life again. That's what the title is. Negan lives. For a long time now, we were always wondering what's next for Negan because he has no one. There's no one he can really go to. What do you do with him now? And I definitely think there really wasn't much you can do in the Walking Dead comic because he had a grander story there that they had to follow, right? But if they do a spin-off series on Negan, they easily can do that. They can follow exactly what happened in this issue, which was in the beginning, he questioned why he was even doing this. And then some woman appears, and then he doesn't know how to feel about that. He's like, hey, like, you're not real. And then ends up being a group that just was going to kill Negan, but didn't and failed at that. And then Negan ended up killing him, which was also really awesome because I don't know if he actually did it. I think he said he failed, but he tried to cut him in half with a shovel, which is like typical Negan, right? Like they had to put that in this first issue, which is awesome. And then at the end, he realizes, yeah, I think I'm going to go bury Lucille. I think I'm going to finally put that to rest, or put that part of me to rest. I'm going to go bury Lucille. And then he takes that woman with her. I didn't catch her name. Maybe she does say it in here, but yeah, I didn't catch her name. But she could be a main character. She could be a really cool character. I don't know. Depends on what they want to do next. But the last line of the comic here is Negan talking to the woman and saying, don't you want to see what happens next? Which obviously is kind of it's a nod to the fans and stuff, because obviously we all want to see what happens next. This is the next part in Negan's journey now, and I think where they can easily take the character. His journey and his quest right now is to bury Lucille, or grab Lucille, find her body somewhere, come back, and then bury her. And so they could do a lot with that. That's the premise. And so he's going out there to find the body. Just, he can find different groups, different things happen. And then eventually maybe the ending is he does bring Lucille. Maybe he doesn't bring Lucille back. Maybe he falls in love with this woman here, and then at some point maybe he brings her back there or something. Maybe he lets go of that. I don't know what they can do there, but like this issue here, that's basically the idea of the issue, is it's bringing Negan back to life. So in general, I really enjoyed this issue. If you haven't read it, I really recommend reading it if you can. Obviously, you have to go to a local comic book shop and pick up an issue, which I would really recommend with this issue, because the cover is just beautiful and it's a fun issue. I really hope that they do more with this. I really hope that Robert Kirkman goes more in depth with this in the future. And if you read the letter hack section, he does talk about the fact that, because if you remember in issue 193 at the very end of the letter hack section, he said, P.S. Negan lives. That's obviously the title now of this issue. But apparently it wasn't planned, which I do believe him, because he does say in here, like, it wasn't planned at all. It was something that came up afterwards. I guess they just used that, or they noticed that they used that at the end. I don't know. But he even posted this note here, I guess, that he sent Charlie Adler. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it right now. But he posted this thing here where the original ending for Negan in issue 174 was that he was supposed to die. And I guess it was going to be left more open on whether or not Maggie actually, or Maggie's gunshot, if it worked or not. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what I'm reading here, but that was anyways the original ending for Negan in issue 174. He was supposed to die, which I'm glad they didn't do. I'm glad they kept him around. And he does mention here at the very end, he says, so here we are, Negan lives. I hope you enjoyed this surprise return to the Walking Dead universe. I can honestly say I don't know if we'll ever actually see what happens next. To me, you see the headstone in issue 193. That story is pretty much told, but I'll never say never. But probably never, probably. So who knows if we're going to see it. I think there's a lot of potential there. They can do a lot within those years. Yeah, you see the headstone, but I don't think it necessarily means the story has been told. I think it just means that it's a headstone. Who knows if that was the ending? That might not actually be the ending. Maybe Negan isn't even in that house. Or maybe Negan's in that grave or something like that. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny here at the end. He put P.S. Clementine lives, which obviously people are going to be wondering, is Clementine like coming back in some kind of comic form? Or not coming back, but going to be in some comic form. Now, I don't know how all that works with stuff with the gaming things and if they can do it or not, but I would love that. All I know is that I can't really trust Kirkman ever when he says he's putting P.S. Clementine lives. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be that surprised if, like, in a year from now, he announced, like, like a one shot of Clementine lives. But I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into that right now unless there's some kind of announcement. I think it would be kind of cool, though. Maybe I can answer it in a Q&A or something like that, give my thoughts on it then. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this issue. It was just very exciting to read, and I love the fact that I got to go into a comic book store again. It's been a while, and I guess that was kind of Robert Kirkman's intention with this, right? He wants people to go back to the comic book stores, support them, and yeah, I really recommend doing the same thing too. I bought 2 issues here, but maybe I'll just keep them and not do a giveaway. This way you guys can go out and actually go and get them. This way it's supporting them more. So I don't know. But if you've read it, post your thoughts down below. If I had to rate this issue, I don't like rating things too much, but I would give it like a 10 out of 10. There's really no issue I have with it. It did its job. It brought Negan to life, literally. He was always so mopey. There was nothing really to him after All Out War. We got little glimpses of certain things when I guess Lucille broke, and there was little things here and there that we learned from time to time, but he was still in this mopey area. I didn't know how you can bring that character out of that, and I think Kirkman did an excellent job here with this issue. So yeah, hopefully there's more. I'm hoping there's going to be a series of this. It's not just like one shots or anything like that, but post all your thoughts down below. What did you guys think of Negan Lives? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for my Q&A video coming out very soon, and I'll see you guys then.